I'm Chris Shoemaker, also known as Yehuda Ben Shomer, and I'm here with my good buddy Pickle. Pickle, I gotta ask you, man, what do you think about this heat wave? I mean, we here in New Brunswick, we have been experiencing humid, hot, sticky, muggy, sweltering heat. I mean, man, if there's any argument for climate change, a lot of people would say that would be it.
Well, now, first of all, it's good to be back. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while now. Now, people probably kind of wonder, how come this old boy's up here from, where I'm from.
Yeah.
I actually come up to kind of get a little bit cool.
Didn't work this time, did it?
Didn't work this time. You always hitting pretty record temperatures, I figure.
Yeah, for sure.
You brought up, I think you heard, you said those two words, climate change.
Yeah. Have you noticed, though, like, it used to be global warming, and now they switched it. You don't hear them say global warming anymore. They say climate change.
Well, that's what they say now. A lot of people back in the day, like I'm going back a ways. I'm going back a little bit further than you are.
All right.
And I remember back, it seems to me that this whole environmental deal started coming on, probably about in the 70s, I think.
Yeah.
And the first thing I remember was an acid rain.
Yeah.
Now, acid rain meant a little bit different back in the 60s. you know what I mean?
Yeah, acid. Yeah, I get
coming
it.
out of Woodstock in there. But there was talk about acid rain and pollution and different things. Yeah, you got a nice little dog. She's okay up here.
Oh, yeah. She loves visitors.
I do. I like dogs.
That's Chloe.
That's Chloe. Thinking about animals, they don't got to go through all these kind of debates like we do, right? But
yeah.
Back in the 70s, it was acid rain, and that just kind of disappeared.
Yeah, you don't hear about that anymore.
Without any apologies at all.
Did you notice what came on the heels of acid rain in the fashion world? Acid washed jeans. I remember once everybody started talking acid rain this, acid rain that. Yeah, and then all of a sudden you had acid washed jeans and it was the coolest jeans to wear. I don't know if there's a connection, but I just kind of thought it was strange. You had acid rain and then you have acid washed jeans in the same decade.
Well, now there it is. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm gonna use Google. Sometimes I don't even know if I can trust Google, but anyway, I'm going to look into that. That's an interesting thing. I never thought.
Google is fake news. Might be fake news. Google.
Could be. It's hard to tell, right? It's hard to tell. What I want to get to in a couple of minutes here maybe is how to properly debate.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't care. People want to call it an argument. Call it an argument if you want to. But I like to think of debate. I like to think that's more of a rational way to look at things,
Yeah, because you're the rational redneck.
I'm the rational redneck. And listen, let me just continue on. We had the acid rain, then it moved into, I believe, the ozone layer.
Yeah. You don't hear about the ozone anymore.
No,
apparently it's closed up,
That's right. Now, I believe that information come out in 2018. I believe it come out this year. That the ozone layer is now sealed, people. It's sealed. It's healed itself.
And it wasn't because everybody stopped using aerosols.
Freon. I guess it's called Freon, yeah. But I still say the fridges and the air conditioning in your car and everything were a lot better with Freon than it is whatever they're using now. But you had the ozone layer. It's healed now. Didn't take too long to heal it. They were screaming. They were screaming bad.
Yeah, I think Gore got that one wrong.
Yeah, and then it came to, I'll talk about Al Gore in a minute. And then it moved from there to global warming.
Yeah.
And then it moved from there when they realized that the temperatures, now again, hold on, some of you people that are skeptics, you got skeptics on every side, right?
Yeah.
Just depends, if your ears ain't picking up what the kind of stuff and information you want to pick up, then you're a skeptic.
Yeah.
Okay? And sometimes it don't matter if something's right or wrong, or what the information is. A lot of times, now I'm gonna step on some toes. There's a whole lot of people don't know a whole lot of what they're talking about.
And you better watch out because he's got steel-toed boots, I think.
Well, I ain't gonna show them right here, but I'll tell you. So it went from global warming to climate change.
Yeah.
Because there has been.
Because they can't prove global warming, so they have to change the verbiage and call it climate change.
They thought they'd prove it. Now, I want to say something before I forget, because there's one of the reasons I want to talk to you today when it comes concerning climate change. There are two ways to look at it.
Okay.
And I want to put this out there for people to say that, look, you can check these out. These are statistical, factual, what I'm telling you. There is one prominent organization on this planet. It is termed the IPCC. That is the International Panel on Climate Change, or Climate Control. Climate Change, I believe. International Climate Change. Panel. International panel on it. And I believe, some of these things you can check, but I believe it's based in Europe. I think it's...
sounds like the new street drug, IPCC.
Well, it is pretty much a drug. It is intoxicating a whole lot of people with... There's probably a lot of credible information, and I'm not saying that these people are unsincere. I think they really feel there's a big segment of people, governments, that feel that we have a problem, climate change, and that it is predominantly man-made, man-caused.
Well, you know what? I even heard one time they were trying to blame the whole ozone thing and the pollution thing on cow farts. And they wanted to fund some university to study cow farts.
It's still going on. It's still going on.
They're still doing it?
You got these Vegemite deals. You got these vegan dudes, and you got all these people that just saying, well, stop eating beef, you know. They're trying to save the planet. It's methane. Now, let me ask you a question.
And swamps produce methane naturally. What are they going to do about that?
Exactly. Well, here's the thing. If I ask you a question, can you tell me how many greenhouse gases there actually are? Can you give me the number of how many?
Well, all I know for sure is if I have a bad salad and I'm in a greenhouse, there's going to be one greenhouse gas I can name. That's going to be me. But other than that, I don't know.
Probably would be a release of methane. There are five
greenhouse gases.
5 greenhouse gases, of which CO2 emissions are probably the smallest amount. Water vapor is one.
Yeah.
It's just water vapor.
What are we going to do about all those hookahs? The hookahs produce a lot of water vapor in these hookah cafes and stuff like that.
That's a tribe in Africa, isn't it?
Well, hookah. No, it's that big old water pipe. It's like a giant water bong that they smoke in India and Pakistan and stuff. Hookahs. That's water vapor. They're creating greenhouse gases. Oh no!
That sounds like a new movie, Hookah. Revenge of the Hookahs. I don't know about that, but...
Okay, so that's the second greenhouse gas. CO2 and water vapor.
And methane.
Methane.
Well, that's what I'm getting...
Got some methane for you.
That's some methane for you. Ozone.
Ozone, that's another greenhouse gas, but that's, that's a moot point now because it's healed.
I'm not sure. I do not have my papers with me, but listen, I'm not a scientist, but I haven't studied. Now,
you know who else is not a scientist?
Al Gore?
Bill Nye.
Oh, that creature.
Dolph Lundgren actually has more credentials to be called a scientist than Bill Nye.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Dolph Lundgren?
Yeah.
Beat Rocky up there one time.
Yeah, and played He-Man once and was on the Expendables.
How would Dolph Lundgren does he have a degree?
Yeah, he went to school and he's got all these degrees.
Really?
He's got more degrees to qualify him as a scientist than Bill Nye does.
Well, I've seen some debates of Bill Nye, and I have watched a lot of debates on the climate change, and I am biased towards one side. I do not see human involvement being the predominant or even a partial problem of climate change. I do not see climate change as being a disastrous effect. In fact, now I know time is going to be getting on, but so I want to get in the International Panel on Climate Control.
Yeah. Okay.
Then you also have now
this is another organization you're bringing up.
Right. Well, the IPCC is one that most governments, not all governments look at. The United States does, recognizes them. Mexico, Canada, most of Europe, the European countries. Russia does not. China does not. I'm not sure about Africa, but there are a lot of countries that do not recognize them because what they want is proof. But you have your Kyoto Accord, you got your Paris climate change, you know, all these things are happening. That is coming directly from information which is given by the IPCC. Now, all these things can be studied out. Most people...
Wasn't that a heavy metal band? Or some kind of weird band? Oh, that's ICP, Insane Clown Posse. Okay, never mind. Go on.
You're a different duck. Well, not a different duck. You're just in a different day than I was. I had CCR back then.
Yeah.
Right. But anyway, so the IPCC, the one that is getting a lot of heat, and your people can check these out. Now, there's different sites to go to. Is the NIPCC, which means it stands for the non-governmental panel on climate change.
So if they're non-governmental, it doesn't mean that they're not influenced by what the government wants from them.
That's a good point. Now, some people out there would be watching this and saying, yeah, but they're influenced by oil tycoons, fossil fuel people, you know, who do not, you know, they want to continue to drill and do fracking and...
What's your language in my house?
I didn't spit on you, though. But, that, you know, like coal and things, they don't so they would say they're being influenced by those people. But they have been around for the next one will be the Heartland Institute. So if you type it in, it's 3 words, the Heartland Institute, and look, it'll take you to links and take you to many different sites and videos. Very well done. This is a panel of what's going on.
You're just downloading so much information on me. I feel like I'm being enlightened by what you have to say.
Well, you have light on your face, your shadows, but no. Here's the deal. I'm just because I did mention the word debate. I want to cover that in a second, but I want to get this information out. Here's the thing. There isn't anything much worse in this world than he who will not allow himself to be taught. There's some of them famous lines, I think, that they made on that, but no greater fool is he that will not receive instruction or wisdom.
Yeah.
You know, in my mind.
Yep.
Now, some people say, well, I ain't going to look at any detractors or denialists concerning climate change.
Denialist, are those the sailors on ships that go down the Nile? Denialist?
You know, after this filming, you may have something to eat. Your sugar may be a little high or low. I don't know. You are a pun factory. Not a fun factory. But anyway, the information's there. The Heartland Institute, and you have 2 adversaries on the planet right now. Do you know that I believe it was in February, could be wrong, it was this spring, that a court case out of San Francisco, there were actually 3 Democratic senators that took the Heartland Institute to court, claiming that there was tax fraud and they were defrauding the people of the United States. You can go on there and check. They are so against any information that would be denying the effects, human effects of climate change, that they were taken to court in California, in San Francisco. The Heartland Institute was, being denialist, and 3 Democratic senators want these guys put in jail because they believe that they are doing this disservice to mankind. But who won the case? The Heartland Institute won the case.
Because they had the facts.
They had the facts.
You know, there's even some Hollywood celebrity stars out there who are wanting people to be declared mentally incompetent and mentally insane if they do not accept and agree with global warming and the whole eco, stuff that's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Now, we talked about the acid rain. I never got any apologies on the acid rain. That washed away just like the rain. It washed away. Ain't nobody talking about that. Ain't nobody talking about the ozone layer.
Yeah.
People that closed up this year, it ain't a problem. Bring on the Freon, I say. I ain't got no apologies on that. You know, and you can go to YouTube and you can punch in Al Gore's speech, I believe, to the United Nations. I could be wrong on that. But he stated right there on film, I believe it was done 2007, 2004, he said that by 220, I believe by 220, the ice field could be gone. And it was something so stunned. And where is he today?
Yeah.
All the things that he said were going to heat up. People, it has not heated up since 2000. And in fact, there's information that would suggest from the Heartland Institute, from the NIPCC, that says that at the turn of the next century, the temperature will have actually cooled down.
Well, the sun goes through an 11-year cycle. We've recorded this 11-year cycle for years. But what people are denying is that the Earth, just as the sun, goes through different stages and different cycles. The poles that we have right now has not always been the poles that have existed since the beginning. The poles keep flipping and flopping, and so the Earth goes through cycles. It goes through warming and cooling cycles and things like that. And it has nothing to do with pollution or man's carbon footprint or man made this or man made that.
Well, exactly. We sit here, we talk about these things. I'm not a scientist, but I'll tell you what, I have tried to study both sides of the coin. Now, I mentioned before about debating. You realize, and I can't confer this totally because I'm not a historian as I should be, but it seems to me back in the day that there was a great man by the name of Plato. I may not believe everything he says. We may religiously, that's a whole other thing. I believe God is in 100% control. I believe that he made an earth that will sustain, no matter what little man gonna do. But they got after Plato.
Mm-hmm.
They get after Socrates. They get after Leonardo da Vinci. They get after great minds on the planet. They get after Christopher Columbus for trying, the flat earth and all this stuff. These ideals come in when the rest of society was saying to the few that were saying the information in your belief system is wrong, and I can prove it. They likely wanted to kill these people.
Yeah.
In fact, I think, I won't say they wrote him out of town on the rails because he took 3 ships, Christopher Columbus did.
Yeah.
He probably would have been killed had he not left. But there have been great people down through history saying, no, you're what you think are your facts and figures, they're wrong. The Heartland Institute and some of us denialists, I'm just saying if you're going to come to me and say you're going to affect my work, the country, now the green machine, which has come out of this whole deal, right? Organic foods and all this stuff, and ain't nothing wrong with it. But to try to say that you need to go in this direction to save mankind is scaring a whole lot of people right to death.
Yeah.
Now they may say you're a dummy and you're this and you're that. I'm going to tell you something. I'm rational enough to look at the studies. Why can you not see the two sides of the coin? Debate, a healthy debate needs...
Well, it's because the mass media is only giving you one side of the coin, and they're pushing that one side of the coin down your throat. They're not giving equal airtime to the other side of the coin to where people could say, and decide for themselves.
Well, that's it. And if people... I have had people say to me, who do you think you are? This bogus percentage thing of 97... It's somebody... If I'm sitting across the desk and somebody's saying, who are you? You ain't got a PhD, you ain't this, you ain't that. No, maybe I'm not. But you expect me to swallow hook, line, and sinker 97%? Because here's what people think. If they say that 97% of scientists agree that there is climate change, there's some misnomers in there. First of all, the average person going to think that 97% of all scientists on the face of the earth were asked do you believe climate change and that man is the main contributor? That's what people think. Well, they must know what they're talking about. That 97% is all skewed. First of all, there is climate change. Big climate change between yesterday, when I looked at the thermometer, it was 101 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Today, I don't know what it is. It's beautiful. It's out in the mid-70s. That's climate change.
Yeah.
It's how you skew it. It's how you look at it. Now, that's 97%. So you're going to sit there and say, well, I ain't going to listen to you because 97% I'll go hope. Now let's debate that point. So you need to prove, the burden of proof comes on both sides. I'm saying that, look at young children. Look at what they're being taught in schools or what they're not being taught in schools. And I throw this out as a caveat that says that creation science, the fact that God made everything, is there. The science. Everything you look around, the complexities and the marvelous things and the mysteries of life, from this little dog to the human eye to a spider to water itself to the actual tilt of the... I mean, there's so much stuff.
Go to answersingenesis.com, drdino.com, creationresearch.com. There's all these legitimate sites that back up the creation.
But people don't look at it because they figure it's religion. And people are getting so hepped up with climate change that these kids... I talk to people all the time. I say, why are you doing what you're doing? Well, they say, because of climate change. I'm trying to do my part. And now the Canadian government, what's his name? I'm going to call him Justina. Because that guy, he's going to go in 2019. I'm praying he's going to go. He's going to tax the Canadian people. I'm glad I can go back home after this. He's going to tax the Canadian people. We don't even know how much he's going to tax. Your carbon footprint, he said. And because of climate change and everyone going, well, we'll do our part to save the world, he's going to up your gas prices. Could be 15 cents a liter, could be 30 cents a liter.
Well, I mean, the gas prices in Canada are already ridiculous. Here, it takes $50 to fill up my tank. You go over across the border, which is only about 45 minutes away, and I could fill my tank up for 25.
Exactly. So, if some, to the average person, I'd say, well, why are you allowing this to happen? Why are you paying so much? And I talked to my daughter just the other day, and there are a lot of things that we don't agree on, but I know this for certain, that there are a lot of young kids, preteens, teens, adolescents, beautiful young people in their 20s that have decided not to have children or limit the number of children they have because the number one comment, and I looked at my daughter, I said, here's what they'll say: I ain't going to raise a child in this world today. And one of the big reasons, if not the number one reason, is because man's destroying it based on climate change. And it's just ridiculous. I'm just saying, you go on debate, look at the both sides of the coin, because the Heartland Institute, many wonderful people like it, and the NIPCC, and let me just throw this out there too. It amazes me. I've grown up and I've heard this, and you'll hear it all my life. I ain't going to vote because it ain't going to make a change. I ain't going to vote for any of these politicians because they're all the same. Ain't no one going to do nothing, right? We've all heard that. We're tired of it. Even in the United States, it amazes me when people say if there could be someone that wasn't a politician, I'd probably vote for him. And they get one in and now they're still complaining.
Yeah.
Not all of them. You've got some good people doing some things. But why wouldn't you believe the NIPC, a non-governmental agency, over one that is funded by governments of the planet?
Yeah. Because the governments, if they're paying into it, then they get their slant, then they get their, propaganda.
Well, it seems to me, and I'm just saying to the people, imploring the people, check out those sites. Don't listen to all the just debating back and forth. Get to the scientific information. And whatever it's given, whether it's from the global alarmists, right, the climate change alarmists, or the climate change denialists, I'm smart enough. Rationality, I will rationalize my way through it. I would look at the scientific information.
Yeah, rationale as opposed to fear-mongering. which argument is the fear mongering? It's, oh my gosh, we're destroying the planet. Oh my gosh, climate change. Oh my gosh, acid rain, ozone, and blah 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 blah. It's fear mongering. Everything that Al Gore said on his Inconvenient Truth, by 20 such and such, this is going to happen. None of it has happened. None of it. And it's all about fear mongering.
And how much money he made? And he got a Nobel Prize for it. Did he not?
Yeah. And then the rationale saying, whoa, hang on a second, let's check the facts. Let's check these other statistics instead of all the ones the government was saying that we need to go to and check out.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm a proponent that there is not human, would be a denialist to many people, but I'm looking at the facts and they're just, I'll give you this. I told this to a gentleman here a couple of weeks ago and it flew right over his head. Do you realize, and you check it again, thank God for the internet, that carbon dioxide, CO2, is one of the greatest fertilizers on the planet? I mean, every tree, everything, plant, sucks it in.
Yep.
What's it give off? Oxygen.
Yeah.
The trees filter the air. They will filter it, especially CO2. They are using it downstate. Now I'm not sure where. Read it a little while ago. I'm gonna follow it through. But they are setting up greenhouses and they are pumping in CO2, putting in 3 to 4 times the level of CO2 that comes in the atmosphere. They're pumping it in. And these plants are yielding up to 20, 30, 40% larger and using up to 70, now get this, up to 70% less water.
Well, and another thing is people get all, misty-eyed and start saying, oh, the earth is burning and we're being destroyed because all these wildfires. Wildfires don't bother me. Let it burn. Let it all burn. Mm-hmm. Why? Because they use slash and burn agriculture in Africa. And here in Canada, we use a type of slash and burn. After the winter and all the grass is brown and everything's dried out, we set it on fire. And we burn our yards and we burn our fields. Mm-hmm. Why? Because a couple weeks later, it's just as green and vibrant and just full of life. So, where Mount St. Helens in the 80s just destroyed everything and the ash covered everything and everything was destroyed and burnt. Well, now, 20, 30 some years later, you go back and it is a lush paradise where that volcano destroyed everything.
Exactly.
So all these wildfires is just putting nutrients back into the soil. It's causing these pine cones to burst and give their seeds, and everything is going to grow. Yeah, it's going to be crappy for a couple years, but just give it a few years and things are just going to green right back up and grow. So things aren't destroyed. It's like that phoenix rising from the ashes. It's going to get better.
Exactly. And I'll just say this. I know time is rolling.
Yeah, we got to get going here soon.
We could pick this up again. I just want to encourage people to look. The information's out there. You say to me, you're not a scientist, I ain't going to listen to you. I'm just trying to point you. Get both sides' argument before you come up to your final decision. Don't be like a bad judge. You're going to sit there in a courtroom, a law, and have your case decided by the way you look, right? Mm-hmm. You're just going to see he's a bad man. He got bad thinking. I know that already. So you don't want to examine everything.
Yeah, don't judge a book by its cover.
One thing on the temperature changes. People got to understand, and maybe we'll pick this up some other time, but number one, a lot of these temperatures taken that seem high, they're within cities. They're not in cities. They're in around cities, which are heat seals.
Yeah, because of the asphalt and the glass and the windows and the concrete.
Cement, concrete, and all that. But if get your tests out, say in the rural areas.
Temperature's normal.
Temperatures, that's so there's bias. There's bias there. There's one other thing I couldn't figure on. But anyway, just check your facts. Just look at it. Give the Heartland Institute, give them a real look. Don't just give them 5 minutes. They're getting blasted. They're getting really a lot of heat, but they got you. Now I heard today, and I'm going to follow this up, and I'll get back to you again. But there are, they figure on their books, so I'm going to check it out. They have 31,000 scientists already have signed on to the fact that they had not concluded that the climate change, that the IPCC, the proponents that they have the facts that they have presented, they are finding a lot too many holes in the science, and they're not convinced. So they have a list of 31,000 scientists.
Well, Pickle, I'm glad you're here because you know, I need some help cleaning up outside. I got a bunch of scrap vinyl siding that
What time is it? Oh man, I gotta go real fast.
Well, you know, come out and help me get this scrap vinyl. It's not enough to vinyl a shed or a house or anything. It's just scrap. Nobody's
You gonna burn it?
I'm gonna burn it. You gonna help me burn it?
Oh, I love a good fire.
Yeah.
Especially sometime take them milk jugs and put a stick in it and get it burning. You get that little, like the stuff comes off there like, oh, sort of little, you know what I mean? Like it's, yeah.
Yeah, so come on and give me a hand out there. We'll burn some siding.
Let's go burn.
All right.
Let's go burn some siding. That's going to be good fun. Yes, sir.
AbrahamsDescendants.com. Getting back to the 1st century in a 21st century way.
What you give me these matches for?
Oh,
man.
There's a reason, Pickle. Look, guys, we just got done eating the most spiciest, gassiest foods that we can find.
I'm full, man. I had to open the button.
Oh, yeah, I had to loosen my belt.
What did you give me the matches for?
Oh, hang on.
Wait a minute.
I feel some CO2 coming on.
You mean methane?
Yeah, methane.
Don't do it, man.
Whoa, come on, man.
You know what that would do?
Come on, yeah, what?
You can blow this whole place up, man. That ain't just That ain't ordinary methane.
You just wasted a good...
That ain't ordinary methane. That's Mexican methane. That's hot chili peppers.
Yeah, it's going to be like the 4th of July.
You want your dog to still be alive?
Yeah.
Well, you don't. You do it. I'm getting out of here. You ain't going to hang around no methane. It's bad enough in there the way it is. I ain't doing it.
Aw, man, you're no fun.
That's great.